Hello, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the channel. So today I thought I would just kind of do a little bit of a journal and planner update and talk about some of the changes that I have made more recently. And yeah, it's just going to be a chatty little discussion of journals, planners, and stationery. So I encourage you to grab a nice beverage, grab a little snack, and yeah, let's just hang out for a bit. So first, I wanted to start off with my Hobonichi Cousin, because I did have some issues with this book, and I think I have worked my way through those issues. So the main issue that I was having in here was really just the paper. My paper was not being very cooperative. Specifically, I was having a really hard time with my markers and also my drawing pens. So my Tombow brush pens bled through really badly. And also my Tombow Fudenosuke pen bled through really bad. So in my previous cousin, I really liked to use these materials to do designs on the page, to do titles and headers and things like that. Just things to help structure and bring visual interest to the page. But anyway, long story short, I was having a really hard time using the materials that I had become used to using and journaling in the way that I was used to journaling. So I couldn't structure my page the way I wanted to. I couldn't use the materials I wanted to. And I was just kind of feeling a little bit lost at this point in time. And I wasn't really sure if I wanted to stay in this journal or not, but I kind of stuck with it for a little bit and just experimented with what materials I could and could not use in here. And I think I finally came to a place where I know what I can use and what I can't use and still be happy in here, if that makes any sense. So of the things that I cannot use in here, I made a list over here as well. Also, it might be saying something, the fact that I stayed in here and journaled about how I was not happy in here, even while I was not happy in here. So maybe that says something about how I feel about the Hobonichi Cousin. So anyway, I found the materials that I can't really use in here are, I can't use my markers, my glue stick. My glue stick really warps the paper very badly. It's just a regular Elmer's glue stick, but for some reason the paper like wrinkles really badly when I use that, and it's far more noticeable than it was last year. Anyway, my Elmer's glue stick, can't use that. My Tombow Fudenosuke pen, can't use that. My fine liner pens, can't use those. However, what I can use in here, oddly enough, Posca pens have not been giving me any issue at all, so I've been using this for my call-out titles. I can still use my Platinum Preppy fountain pen without any issue. This doesn't give me any bleed through or anything like that. Double-sided tape is a good substitute for glue. I'm also trying to use more sticker paper as well. Printables are a good way to add artwork so that I don't have to draw on the paper as much. I've actually just been doing more drawing on my iPad and then printing those out and cutting them out and then sticking them in here. And then stickers and washi, obviously, work just fine. So that's been my experience with this paper so far. I think I am finally at a place where I am content. And yeah, I've actually been enjoying being in here more. So yeah, that's been my Hobonichi Cousin. And then I don't know if I mentioned this or not already, but I am still doing the thing where I don't necessarily do one day per page. So this here, entry number 10, this is all one day. I was really in the mood to journal this day and I felt like filling an entire spread. And yeah, so this was just all one day. And actually I came over here as well. And then this here is my 11th entry and that goes over here. And then 12, I was also really in the mood to journal. I had taken a long break from journaling at this time, and then I came back and I was really in the mood to fill out spreads. So I had a few days in a row where I just journaled a lot, and then I did a little bit less yesterday. This is from yesterday here, entry 13. But yeah, I think I'm gonna continue to number my entries like this, and I think that's kind of an interesting way of moving through this. And also it's sort of like, it's a little bit of positive feedback for continuing to come back to this book, because every time I come back, I see the number go up, And I'm like, oh yeah, I've been in here for 13, different days. I've done 13 different entries now. And it'll be interesting to see that number go up throughout the year. So I'm hoping that I stick with this because I think it will be interesting to look back at. It's also kind of helpful to flip through and know where one entry ends and another entry begins, because otherwise, especially since I'm not using it as, as it's intended with 1 day per page, it can sometimes feel a bit muddy flipping through there. Like I don't know where I am in time, but this at least kind of helps break up like each of my entries. So that is this. The other thing that I kind of like that I think I will try and keep up with is I've been doing really tiny pen doodles kind of like embedded within the text to show like what I'm talking about. Like here I'm talking about Stardew Valley. I had the night market event in my playthrough and I was just talking about that down here. So I drew a little picture of it here. And I think that will also help me kind of like look back and remember what happened if I can see little tiny doodles like hieroglyphics almost of like what happened throughout my day or what topic I'm talking about. Like this is a tiny taco. I just wrote about what I had for dinner. That's really it. But I like the idea of kind of just embedding them like in the text to kind of help me like remember what happened that day. Because I don't often sit and just actually read through what I wrote. I don't usually do that, but I will flip back through my pages more. So I feel like the more visual memory aid that I can provide for myself, the better. And I think this might be a good way of doing that. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Another thing that I've started doing. So I got these Stalogy dots and I think I'm gonna use these to like highlight certain things. So the only one I have right now, and I'll probably try and do more, but the only one I have right now is I'm using this yellow dot and I'm using it to mark a moment of joy. So basically any time throughout my day that I was really happy or something brought me a lot of joy, I will write about it in here. And then I will highlight it with a dot so that I can come back and I can find those moments. Like this one right here, I was journaling and I could hear the rain on the window and it was just really relaxing. And like, it can be small things. It can be really, really small things like that. So that was one there. And then I had no moments of joy today. Yeah, I didn't use it this day. Oops. But this day I was like sitting outside and it was nice out and we have some new strawberries coming in on our balcony. And yeah, so just little things. It can be really, really small things, but I do want to start kind of like consciously and intentionally collecting those moments and also highlighting them. But I have like all these other colors and I would like to use them for other things. I don't know what that is yet, so I'm just starting out with this one for now. Suggestions are welcome. If you have any ideas for what else like you could highlight with these, please let me know. Cause yeah, I want to keep doing this. I think this is a fun way to kind of like help me navigate, I guess, through my pages and have certain things stand out to me, which is something that I've been trying to get a little bit better at. But yeah, so this is the daily pages. And then really quickly, I will also show my weekly pages. So I switched from tilting the book this way. I guess I can show you. That would be easier than my hand gestures. Okay, here we go. So I switched from tilting the book this way back to doing it the normal way. And it's okay, I actually don't mind it. For the longest time, I really did not like these narrow columns, but I've been using a smaller nib size, and I think since the last time I tried this, I think my handwriting shrunk or something, because I'm not minding it quite as much as I used to. Maybe it's that I write in cursive now, and I used to write in print, and I think my cursive might be a little bit smaller than my print. That could be it. I'm not really sure. But anyways, I don't really mind it this way, and I don't mind filling this out. It's actually not too bad. I've really just been putting in I'll come in at the end of the day and kind of just do a very quick daily summary, kind of how I felt about the day, a little bit of what happened. It's a very brief summary, and I've also been writing the time that I come in and do this at the end of the day, and that's it. Also, because I have to like logic myself into filling this section out, I have timed myself on how long it takes me to do this. It takes me less than 10 minutes. I timed it, I think yesterday it took me like 8 minutes. It's usually like 6 to 8 minutes to actually come in and do this. So I think, because I often don't do this because it feels like a lot to do and I kind of forget it's there. But after timing myself, I realized that this little summary genuinely takes like less than 10 minutes and it's not that bad to do. I can do that. I also think that it's probably a good way to like stay in this book every day, even if I'm not filling out a whole daily page, like a whole daily spread every day. It'll still be nice to come in and at least do this little like less than 10-minute summary thing back here so that I have some sort of consistency with this book, even when I'm not in my daily pages every single day. So that's how this has been going. And then my monthly is, honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I don't necessarily like how this looks aesthetically for this month, but it does show a lot of information and I do feel like I have a good grasp of time. So it's still useful to me in that sense, just aesthetically, it's not my favorite. And for this, I've kind of just been coming back in here and like doing a small doodle or writing a little bit, or I don't know, I just fill this in here and there whenever I feel like it and whenever I have time. And I'm not being too strict with it. I'm not making myself come back here every day. It's kind of just whenever I feel like it, and sometimes I backfill things a little bit. Yeah, that's it. I've just been continuing to fill this out, and now we're in a new month, so I'm excited to do another month here. But that's pretty much it for my Hobonichi Cousin. I feel like I'm finally content in here again, and I'm not struggling as much as I was when I first started using this. So yeah, hopefully I stay with this, and hopefully it continues to work out. So I recently made some changes in my planner setup, and I was using my traveler's notebook as a planner, but I ended up moving things into a rings binder. However, I still want a traveler's notebook somewhere in my life. I love this system. I love how it feels. I really like being in a traveler's notebook in some way, shape, or form. So I think I'm gonna continue to use this as a bit of a journal. All I have in here right now is I have my weeks insert, which I was previously using as a planner, but I think I'm gonna just continue to use it for a little bit of a journal space. I'm not totally sure about that yet though. I'm still kind of testing that out. I will say it does feel a tiny bit redundant, and I don't know, it might just be too much. However, I'm like continuing to use it because I just really like this insert. I love the cream paper. I don't know, this is probably my favorite insert ever. So I really like this, and I'm kind of trying to still use it a little bit, but I don't know, we'll see. So I have this insert, and then I also have one that I made. So I made this by getting a paper pad from Jet Pens. They have like a large A4 size cream MD paper pad. So I got that, I printed my own grids on it, and then I stapled it. And I also have some cardstock for the cover, which is Nina cardstock. And it's fairly light cardstock. Like honestly, I kind of wish I had a little bit thicker cardstock for the cover, but this is just what I had on hand, so I decided to use this. And then I decorated the cover with a little bit of a collage. So all that being said, I really like this because I can pick my grid size. Like I can do a smaller grid, which is my preference, and I can do my favorite paper, which is MD cream paper. So that's been great. It's been so nice to have. I wish this just existed like on its own out there, then I would buy it. But honestly, making it is also not too bad. You can kind of see, like, I didn't cut it very evenly, but it does work. So this insert I have been using as my little just like journal throughout the day kind of insert. Like I'll just write down like random thoughts that I have, things that happened that I want to remember, stuff like that. It's very small bullet point style like journal entries, and it's just like throughout the day whenever I have something that I don't want to forget. And I've been referencing this to fill in like my other journals. I started doing this practice of just writing throughout the day in here when I was taking a little break from journaling and when I got too busy to journal. And I really liked it, so I decided to try moving it into my traveler's notebook. So that is what this insert is. And then I have one more insert here, which is again an insert that I made. And I'm planning, I haven't actually started yet, but I would like to use this one for more long form journaling, and kind of just overflow photos, long form journaling. Yeah, maybe more topic based journaling instead of like what happened in my day journaling. But I'm not really sure about that. I'm still kind of feeling that out. Honestly, a lot of the books in here are really motivated by my desire to just have a traveler's notebook in my system somewhere. And if it's not as a planner, then I'm just as happy to include it as a journal. But I don't know, I really, really love this book. I love the system, and I don't want to not have it in my lineup somewhere. So that's really what a lot of this is. And then I also have a small update with how I am organizing my like printables, which is what I use a lot to decorate my journals. So I have a lot of these clear card inserts, and I have just been filling them up with printables and cutting them out ahead of time so that all I have to do is come in here, flip through, find what I want, and take it out and use it, which has been nice. I spent honestly a lot of time organizing this and cutting out a whole bunch of printables this last weekend, and I feel like I have things kind of organized at this point in time, so that's nice. A lot of these are from Erin Ware, and then a few of them are things that I have made. I forgot to mention this when I was talking about my Hobonichi Cousin, so I like to cover the printed date that is in the Hobonichi Cousin, and I made this recently to help me do that. I basically just write the date down, I write the day of the week, and then I also have a little thing to mark what the weather was. So this has been helpful. And I also made another one for when I'm in there for multiple pages in one day. And I just put entry topic so that I can just do like a quick like little summary about what I was writing about there. And then that'll be another way that I can cover up the date in the Hobonichi Cousin. But yeah, that's really it for printable organization. So that's what this is. Oh, actually, I have another stationery organization thing that I did. So I was watching one of Micah's videos from Cat Collage Club, and I saw she had her washi tape organized in a pencil case, and I love it. It's so much easier to find them in here. And actually, I don't even know that I really love this space for pencil or marker organization, because I have to like dig through it to actually see everything, versus when it's in a jar like this, I can easily just see all of the things and grab whatever I want just by looking, as opposed to it being, you know, buried at the bottom of a bag somewhere that I have to fish out. But for washi tape, this is perfect. It fits so well. So yeah, thank you, Micah, for the amazing idea. This has been game changer. I feel like I'm actually using my washi tape a little bit more because I can find it. So this has been nice. So I also made some changes to my planner setup. So previously I was in a traveler's notebook for my weekly and my monthly setup, and then just like an A6 Stalogy for my small like daily to-do list task kind of thing and time management. But I kind of had this urge to like, you know, smush everything all into one space again. So I ended up returning to a rings binder for planning. And yeah, basically I was taking a lot of what I was doing in, you know, those systems that I mentioned, and just, you know, pretty much did the same thing, but now it's all in one space and now it's in a rings binder. This is my daily spread, and then I have the most important things that I need to do today, like things that are, you know, due today or things that I really want to get done today. And I have those up here in this box. And then I have, so today I'm filming a video, And then I basically broke down that task into smaller tasks here just so I can see that. And then I have an extra to-do list here for anything else that I need to do throughout the day. And then on this side here, I have my little time blocking thing along with my post-it note system. So I'm trying to use these little post-it notes to help block off time throughout my day to do certain tasks. And I think using post-it notes instead of pen is going to be important for me because it helps me when I can be at least a little bit flexible, and writing things down makes that very tricky to do. I also like them because they're very like eye-catching and bright. And if I don't write things in a way that is eye-catching or bright, it won't stand out to me on this like timeline here. Whereas the post-it notes, I feel like do a better job of highlighting things for me on my timeline. I don't know if that makes any sense. But anyway, my intent with this is to, you know, put my post-it notes on here when I intend to do something. And then, you know, if things change, that's fine. I can move them around. But then once I do them, I can move them over here to my done section. And then I also have a little section up here for things I'd like to do if I have time. And this here is just a piece of paper that I folded in half and hole punched, and yeah, that's it. I'll probably make a like nicer looking version of this if I actually find that this is helpful. But for now, this is all very experimental. I actually just started doing this morning, and we'll see how this works. But I was very excited by this as like a possibility this morning. So we will see, we'll see how that works. So we are currently filming. In fact, I'm late. Oh no, actually I'm on time. We're on time, yay. So yeah, and I think I'm also gonna, because I have a few like repeat tasks that I want to do on a regular basis. Like I want to make videos on a regular basis. So I will just reuse this same post-it note over and over again. I'd like to be more active on Instagram. I keep forgetting to post. So I'd like to use this one over and over again. But yeah, stuff like that. So I will probably just continue to reuse these post-it notes. I'm hoping that this little done pile over here helps motivate me, and then schedule my day like this. So we'll see. And then for the weekly spread, I'm really just doing the same thing that I was doing in my traveler's notebook, except I have just moved it to this A5 page. So same thing, once again, more post-it notes of like repeat tasks that I need to do on a regular basis and things that I try to schedule for myself. And I just, you know, put them on whatever day they are, and then I migrate them to the next time I will need to do that task, that repeat item. So that's what this is. And yeah, that's also been pretty good. But that's really it for my planner system. All I've really done is condensed things and moved back into rings. And I'm experimenting with post-it notes. That's about it. And I think that is actually everything. I have most definitely talked for way too long. I thought this would be a small update, but as it turns out, it was a very long update. I had a lot to talk about. But yeah, that's about it. I'll see you next time.